My name is Morgan, and I'm the co-president of RVC SOS. These next two videos are about emotional resilience. You are emotionally resilient if you engage in regular reflection on things that are beautiful. Emotional resilience exercises our capability to imagine, dream, plan, and create. It brightens the soul. Emotional resilience allows us to find positive things even when circumstances are grim.
Well, Ashley and Brad, I am so thrilled that you two are here. I haven't seen you, I think, since last semester when we had class together. And I wanted to invite you to be part of this series because when I think about couples in our community of Rockford, and I think about people that need to have emotional resilience, I think about married couples, and I think about how so many of us really struggle in normal day-to-day life, but now add the pandemic to it, and you've just added a whole nother layer of difficulty into relationships. And so I kind of want to start, I'm going to take you on a little journey today, and I want to start by taking our listeners through your love story. So Brad, can you tell me a little bit about what it was like when you first met Ashley?
So I first met Ashley in high school. I didn't really meet her. I saw her in the cafeteria, and I was like, oh, she's kind of cute. She has red hair. And then later that semester, she joined my psychology class, and we sat next to each other, and we would always talk, and we had like a really good friendship, but it was flirty too. We'd knock each other's stuff on the floor and pick on each other.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
Oh yeah, to the point where we got moved.
Yeah.
So it like started there, and then those interactions just kind of, they've always happened, even now.
Well, we would go home and then we would talk on the internet.
Oh, yeah,
like back in the old days, there was AIM, which was the original instant messenger, and then we would just talk all the time on there, which a lot of it was like fun, but then some of it wasn't. It was like more serious, I guess, and so like that's where our friendship really grew, I feel like.
Yeah. What about you, Ashley? What do you remember about Brad? Was it an immediate attraction? Like, walk us through that story.
Yes, because where we went to school, it was a private school, and all the guys were clean cut, short hair, the sportsy type, the jock type. But also what I noticed about that is that wasn't very authentic. They were kind of putting on a front, putting on a show of who they were. And Brad, he had this like shoulder length, long curly hair, and he was like the quiet, sensitive type. And to me, that spoke to my soul. Felt like he was someone that could reach a deeper level, whether it be in a friendship, in a relationship. We both liked each other, but we were with other people. But I felt like there was something more, something deeper, something more wholehearted and authentic, I feel like, that I could reach. And whether it was just as a friend or more, I wanted that. And I wanted to do that with him because I didn't realize it at the time, but because of my wounds and my trauma, that's what I was needing or searching for, what my soul wanted. It's really weird and really surreal, but we've talked about this a lot, and that's what we were both looking for.
I love that. So, okay, when I first started doing couples counseling, one of the things that I know that you're very familiar with are the types of little digs that couples can put into the relationship, and I see the smile on your face. John Gottman, a marital research guru, he calls them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And this is when we communicate in ways that communicate contempt, which is a mix of anger and disgust. I'm sure you might see that in your relationship time to time, because we all do. Defensiveness, right? Oh, yeah. Criticism.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So criticism is when you're attacking the person instead of attacking the situation.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, this is all part. And what John Gottman talks about is that it's evident in every relationship. It's just, is it the culture of your relationship? Or have you found a way to repair when those uncomfortable moments do start to come in and creep into your relationship? So can you give us an example? And I know that one thing that I love about the two of you is you're so vulnerable and so open. Can you give us an example of a conflict you've had and how it went south and how it went wrong and how you were able to repair it?
I mean, there's been lots of conflicts, and I forget what specifically they've been about, but if I start to tell Brad that I feel like he's defending, then he'll defend more sometimes,
Yeah.
which feels like we just circle the issue and we don't really get to the gist of the issue. But a lot of times I will be so hurt that I take it very personally, and instead of like addressing the content of the issue, you know, I will ask like, why don't I matter enough to you? Or like, what is it about you? Or what is it about me? Instead of like just the issue, which is not good because, you know, then Brad can say, well, you do matter enough to me. But then like we're just side skirting the situation and the issue. I know that there was a period of time in our relationship where Brad was really stressed out with work, and he was kind of withdrawn and kind of like wouldn't talk to me. We weren't really having sex, and so I was really hurt. And I just felt very unwanted. And so I would ask him what was wrong. I would try to open up the door for communication. But because he felt almost that I was coming on too strong or almost like attacking him, he would withdraw more. But then obviously that would make me feel more alone. So I would like pursue harder and like put my claws in harder, which would scare him more and cause him to withdraw more. I'm sure you felt shame.
A lot shame and like fear, just like the uncertainty, not knowing what is next after the conflict, not knowing what a resolution looks like. So then, like for me, I would just freeze and I wouldn't know what to do, because if I shut my mouth, nothing would change. But if I open my mouth, something bad could happen.
So the fourth one in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse is stonewalling, and you just brought this into that example. So stonewalling and defensiveness have been a big trigger for the two of you, or a big way of communicating. Yep. Can you give us an example of a conflict that you resolved and you were proud of how you resolved it, and you said, babe, we're growing, we're getting better?
Like in the beginning of our relationship and our marriage, I had like the false idea of a relationship, and that if he truly loved me, or if I truly mattered to him, that he would never hurt me and that our relationship would just work, which I was told from our counselor, who is very blunt and awesome, that was just not gonna happen, and that's just not how real life works, and that he is going to hurt me, even though his intent might not be to hurt me, or he might not even realize, but we both caused each other deep hurts. And not that we've necessarily meant to, we just had unhealthy coping mechanisms, or we didn't recognize what we were doing. But I think for couples to realize that it's not perfect, and you are able to hurt each other, and there are going to be periods of time where you feel like it isn't going to work, or why are we together, or maybe the grass is greener on the other side. But at the core, there's a reason why you two were pulled towards each other. And at the core, you're still the same person, and there are ways through those hurts, and it isn't always the other person's fault. Sometimes you have to look at what you have been doing, and if it was healthy or unhealthy. Coping mechanisms are a big deal, and people don't recognize those. They just think drugs and alcohol. No, there's like tons of other subtle coping mechanisms that are very, well, even beyond that, just numbing.
Yeah.
Numbing out with
pantry.
Yeah, eating, numbing out with TV shows, numbing out scrolling on the phone, numbing out, you know, with that kind of stuff. I think also just being mindful of what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, and don't fight with the other person about each other. Fight about the context of the situation. Those have been huge for us. Stepping away when we're triggered is really hard, but really important. What do you think?
Learning what you're feeling. So for me, the Emotional Intelligence 2.0 book.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Go through it. There's like 60 different ways where you can
exercises.
Figure out, how, and just pick one and stick with it. And that's how I was able to like figure out when I'm feeling shame, I feel it here. When I'm angry, I feel it in my ears. And then like just knowing that really helps you step away from yourself, like not letting your emotions get the best of you in a situation, to be able to take a step back and look at it objectively, and not necessarily say that like your emotions don't matter, but to see what part they play in the conversation.
Well, I think that the two of you are an inspiration. I can absolutely see you having your own practice someday. I think you'll do amazing work, and we are proud that you're RVC students. I'm so proud that you're RVC students, and every time I'm with you, I mean this with everything, I feel like I'm sitting in a sacred space, and you have so much value that you always bring to every conversation. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for everybody who made RVC SOS's virtual event, second annual Friendsgiving, a smashing success. To the people that put videos together for us, to the students, to the co-advisors, to Jerry Labai and his team, we are so grateful. Please help us. Be the light.